The new Dead by Daylight chapter has been leaked, and in this video I'm going to show you guys the supposed leaks for the upcoming chapter 24, as well as a couple extras including some potential new Resident Evil content coming to DBD later this year. But first of all, we're going to take a look at the chapter 24 leaks for the new survivor, Haddie Kaur, and the new killer, the Dredge. Starting with Haddie, her perks are Residual Manifest, which after blinding the killer, they will be given the blindness effect for 30 seconds, which will disable the killer from seeing any auras for that duration. As well as this, the perk will allow the survivor to rummage through an already opened chest once per trial, and they'll be guaranteed a yellow flashlight. Her next perk, Inner Focus, allows her to see other survivors' scratch marks within 32 meters, and whenever another survivor loses a health state within 32 meters, you'll be shown the killer's aura for 5 seconds. And her final perk, Overzealous, is a gen speed perk, which allows the survivor to increase their gen speed by 4% after cleansing a totem. More if the perk is tier 3, most likely probably going to be about 6%. However, you will lose the effect if you lose a health state. I'm not going to lie, with Proof Myself, this could be pretty painful to play against. Moving on from that though, we have the new killer, the Dredge. First off, we have Septic Touch, which will give any survivor who performs a healing action within the terror radius the blindness and exhaustion status effects. These effects will linger for 6 seconds after the survivors stop healing. Next up, we have Disillusion, which 3 seconds after injuring a survivor will activate for the next 12 seconds. While active, the next time a survivor fast vaults a pallet inside the terror radius, the pallet will be broken and the perk will deactivate. And finally, Darkness Revealed. When you open a locker, the auras of all survivors within 16 meters of a locker will be revealed for 3 seconds. Personally, I think that as these are right now, the survivors' perks are probably slightly stronger and more meta, but I feel like the thing holding these killer perks back are probably some of the values, which can obviously be changed by the time the PTB or the full chapter release comes around. Looking now at the killer's power though, the Dredge's first ability allows them to teleport into and between lockers. The Dredge leaves a remnant once they activate their power, and the Dredge can either aim at a locker and teleport to it, or use their power to return back to this remnant that they've left behind, potentially allowing for some pretty interesting mind games. If the Dredge does teleport into a locker, the remnant is destroyed, and then they can either leave the locker they're currently in, or aim and teleport to another. Each teleport consumes a power token, and after the Dredge either exits a locker or returns to the remnant, their cooldown will begin and the power tokens will be recharged. Survivors can also place locks on lockers to slow down the Dredge when they exit a locker, however each locker can only be locked once. This power feels to me like a combination of Freddy and the Onryo with those object-orientated teleports. Also made me similar to like a Blight or really any killer that requires tokens for their power. One thing I think the Dredge has over the likes of Freddy and the Onryo though, is that remnant which they leave behind, which allows them to teleport back instead of having to teleport to a locker essentially. And I'm sure that'll be much more effective in terms of during chase rather than general map pressure. But that's not the Dredge's only special ability, they also have the Nightfall meter. It builds up whenever a healthy survivor is injured, a survivor is hooked, or whenever the teleport power is used, and also fills faster for every currently injured survivor. Once this meter fills up, Nightfall begins, during which survivors are plunged into total darkness, the Dredge can teleport faster and with a shorter cooldown, and also has no terror radius. All this will last for 60 seconds. However, the survivors can reduce this time of an active Nightfall if they destroy the remnant. Overall, I think the new killer looks pretty interesting. Not sure exactly how strong they'll be. We'll just have to wait until we see some actual gameplay during the PTB. But one thing I am curious about is how dark that Nightfall is, how much it actually hinders the survivors, because it will definitely factor into the killer's effectiveness. Now, this new chapter wasn't the only thing leaked or potentially hinted to recently. We also got this small screenshot of the new map for the upcoming anniversary. It's apparently similar to the Thompson house, the Coldwind map, but as well as this, we have slight suspicions to believe that another Resident Evil chapter could be coming later this year, perhaps as chapter 25 after the Dredge. Supposedly, this RE chapter will feature Ada Wong and Rebecca Chambers as the survivors and Albert Wesker as the killer. Personally, I think another Resident Evil chapter would be cool to see. I wouldn't be against it, and according to the same source that brings up the Resident Evil chapter, we may also see a knight of some sort as the next killer after the Dredge and Wesker. Of course, with all these leaks, it is very safe to say that you should always take these with a pinch of salt. Nothing is confirmed by behavior or Dead by Daylight, so take it with a pinch of salt. It's not definite, but you know, who knows. Either way, would you like to see another Resident Evil chapter? And what do you think of the new Chapter 24 leaks? Let me know down below. And if you found this useful, please subscribe. And consider watching one of these videos up on the screen, one which YouTube has suggested, and another that I personally think you might enjoy. But anyway guys, thanks for watching, and have a good one. Peace.